turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highway.
How are you doing, and welcome along to tonight's race. We are into qualifying on with the Pro-Ams at the minute with Zamboni, last week's Pro-Am winner, on track with him at the minute. I hope you're all keeping well this evening. I am just going to get one or two bits sorted there. I know my audio is for some reason not coming through for our game, which is unusual. So let's have a look into this one here and see what's going on with that. Hopefully everyone's keeping well. Yeah, I know, it's Vixen. I'm looking at it right now this minute. See, why is that the case? I will just need to go into the other settings. I'm still getting used to OBS. But for some reason today, audio device. There we go. Apply. Okay. And there's the sound then. Yeah, I was updated about the Windows update, another update, and a graphics update as well. So I was just fixing all of that. Hopefully everything is good and working well now. So yeah, as I say, welcome along. It's going to be quite an interesting race here this evening. We've got, I think, 41 cars on the grid. And it's great to see Chico Lindfar is now back racing as well. So I'm really looking forward to, actually, I got that quite wrong. We've 44 cars on the grid this evening, with Mr. Thomas Stanek as well going out there in P44. Now there's 4 red cars out there. So Carlo is out in the Pro-Am, so it's only Chico Lindfar. That is the Pro, that's a red, that can't go on the track. Everything at the minute is out there. Chiarla is out there also. So we'll have a look afterwards there, because I know some of the numbers were mixed up tonight, which should make things quite interesting to say the least. But no, looking really forward now to this one here. We need a comms academy. Funny enough you say that, I'm actually working on that as we speak, because I've stopped with all the other leagues. I literally run this one at the minute. That is actually something I'm genuinely working on, so don't you worry. There'll be a bit of comms action for you soon if you do need it. More will be said on that once it's fully done. I'm not going to kind of announce anything till it's fully prepped to go, and it'll be offered to every racing community that needs comms as well. Of course, it will be people paying for comms, as anyone who's in the academy will be getting paid for what they do. It won't be done for free. But on to tonight's race. It's such an exciting race last week in Spa, and I know tonight is not going to be any different. It's going to be full of action, full of craziness and everything else that goes with that. Just looking on there now, we've got a few new faces as well. Some liveries have not been uploaded in, some have. But at the minute, just so you know, Zambioni is actually on provisional pole at the minute by just over 1/10 of a second, and is going to improve on this lap here as they cross the line now, nearly half a second clear of Nathan Warren, who's in P2 in the arms, and Nathan's going to cross the line there now. That's the old pit straight, should I say. Doing a great job. He is up about 2.5 tenths at the minute. He's been dropped down as Nito goes across the line there in P2. So back on with Nathan Warren though, because he's found a few tenths, but he's lost it on the exit. What can he do now here? If he can keep this up and he nails the next 2 corners, he has a possibility of jumping on to provisional pole here this evening for the Pro-Ams. So let's see as he goes around the corner there. Not a great exit. Better actually on the exit now. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be provisional pole, but it's going to be right around P2 anyway. Yeah, only now 1.5 tenths off. Going to jump on with Spitzen next. Roman Spitzen there. He's up 4/10 of a second. He is a second off at the minute, but by the looks of it here is looking to improve greatly. So let's see how this one goes for him. Hello Esther Piado Salve. Hope you're keeping well. So on with Spitzen here. Not too much left of the track to go. Is now up about half a second. Are they able to keep this one up? As Roman now comes around the last corner and coming flat out. I'm pretty sure this is the Hamilton straight that he's going on to now. And what's he going to do as he crosses the line? Where is he going to end up? Is he going to be P5? It's looking like it is. Yes, he does. He jumps up into P5 there. 6/10 off the provisional pole sitter at the minute. Now looking else who is... Oh, El Chiara is actually improving quite big as well. Up nearly 7/10 of a second. It's probably going to be commentator's course, so apologies now before the end of the lap. Hard on the brakes there in that Ferrari. Has gained a little bit of time. Maybe anyone who's watching is giving him a little bit of energy there as he comes out and out. He's about 6.5 tenths up and doing a lovely job. I'm going to jump back to Nathan Warren after that one because he's going for provisional pole. He's up about 4 tenths. Don't want to ruin that on him. Actually, Nathan Warren won't be too far in the background of this image here. Now Chiara is up actually about 8 tenths here now at the minute. So Chiara is going to be jumping up into about P5 or so. As Chiara comes around the last corner. Going up the Hamilton straight as well. Are they going to jump Finley Gamble into P5? Oh, into P6 they go. So Nathan Warren here, this is it. He could be getting himself onto provisional pole. Zanni Bioni's in the pits. Nathan Warren though coming around up into provisional pole there. and pole position in terms of Pro-Am at the minute. Or sorry, yeah, Pro-Am at the minute. With Barry Dunn on a lap, it's going to improve. Looking back further, Puglioni's going to improve here as well. Puglioni's coming across the line now, jumps up into P15. Looking further back there, I can see all the pros are out at the minute. And beautiful stuff there. Gonna jump back on with Gimelo, who's now gone into the pits. Barry Dunn, sorry, is now up there as well. Chiara gets up into P6, as I was saying. And Barry Dunn up into P7 there, jumps across ahead of Spitzen there. And that is it for the Pro-Ams. So we've got Vladimir Leopard, who's out there with the pros. We've Tom Solis out there as well. Of course, Tom was quite unlucky last week, looking for a better race this week. Matty Gamble has been quite strong in the Honda around here for the 2ID Honda. Really interesting to see, can he do much to make that do? Who is this stranger? Todd Brown. I think I've heard of your name. Where do you race? And Sylvixen, sorry, no sound on Twitch. No, I don't see much else coming in from you at the minute. Gonna stay on there, Matty, just for a second there. Of course, where is our race winner from last week? Jump on with them in a second as well. Actually, Kowalewski's out there as well, doing a nice job. I actually think our race leader from last week is actually not here this week. Of course, there is a drop round in the Supercharged Motorsports League Championship as well, so even if you do miss a race, it doesn't really affect anything. And the man of the match last week, Bruno Fantanozzi, I don't know why his livery isn't showing there for me. I've synced up the liveries, but he done a great drive from P34 to P6 last week. So yeah, he is going to be one that I'm going to be really interested in. Aaron Holloway repping the old Williams 1991 livery in a little nod to Nigel Mansell from the 1991 season, or 92 season actually, I think it is, sorry, where he won the championship. Rodriguez sitting in the pits at the minute. Britt Batiste, the Merkins out there, looking to do a good job there. None of the pros have set a lap yet, but I'm going to jump on with Matty Gamble. As for me, I think Matty Gamble is going to be the one to watch here. So let's kind of go back up to the top and see where all the pros start coming in, mixed in here this evening. So Morris Boutin goes on pole position, provisional pole with 157.857. Then Matty Gamble does a 157.855 just straight after him there. So Matty Gamble is on provisional pole. Purs after getting in a lap there up in P10 at the minute. I'm sure there's more to come. Britt Batiste P18. Avion is in P23. As I say that now, we've got another jumper up at the front. Ben Shawley gets his BMW on P4 at the minute. And Ben Shawley, I know, has pace. He was going very strong in his practice racing as well and on the practice server. So as I say that, Mr. Ryan O'Sullivan, the current champion, should I say, is sitting there now ahead of Ben, and then Tom Solis jumps in right behind Ryan there in P5 for Team LFI here this evening. Back further, speaking of LFI, you've got Trevel got his first lap in there. I'm sure there's more to come from him. He's sitting 15th at the minute. Looking back now, Chico Lindfar has not gone onto the track. That's someone who I'm really keen on seeing on track. It's the return of Chico after quite a while. And so Simon Kalowski sitting there now, doing not too bad. It looks like one of the drivers disconnected, but it's fine through quali. They'll still be able to rejoin the race. Rodriguez still sitting in the pits there. Jump on with Raimondo for M4 or Squadra Corsa Racing. And he's up about 0.2 of a second. Looking at the times improving, everyone's in green at the minute, except for wee Matty Gamble. But I'm going to jump on with Tom Solis because he's on a greater amount of green than other people at the minute, of course, in the McLaren here. And over across the line for Tom Solis, they're going to throw him up a few positions, possibly into P3. It should do, I would say, at the minute, if he's able to keep it going. He's on, what, 4.5 tenths. Morris Boutin just jumps ahead of Matty Gamble on provisional pole at 157.6, dead even in the Ford Mustang. So doing a great job there. Solis has lost quite a lot of time, so I've ruined the lap for him. So great stuff there on Morris so far. Let's see, does anyone have an answer for that? Though Aaron Holloway is looking to have a bit of an answer. He's up about 7/10 at the minute. Should bring him up in around ahead of Nathan Warren, I would say. Even though it's getting spread out there, Nathan Warren now drops down as Matty Campbell jumps into P2, and then Ryan O'Sullivan jumped into P3. And I'm assuming here at this stage with Aaron Holloway, we're looking at possibly another person going to jump. He does up into P4. Aaron Holloway provisionally there at the minute. Bruno Fantanozzi is up about half a second now at the minute and is right behind the BMW. He's going to be flashing the lights now, hoping the BMW gets out of the way, but there's not much he can do. The Beamer on the inside letting him through. Fantanozzi lucky there to have someone to get out of the way, so he needs to make this count now. While that's going on, I'm going to jump ahead there. Morris Bhutan is up a bit more time at the minute. Ryan O'Sullivan's improving on time. Matty Gamble, though, just about to start a lap, I think it is. He's out there on fresh rubber and going to get one more go of it in here this evening. Chico Lindfar is going to be starting from last, but it looks like he's not decided to go out. Simon Kowalowski leaving it to the last minute, and as I talk to him there, he's after going for one more go he needs because he's invalidated that lap, so there could be a few people, which is quite shocking to see them drop down a bit. Hello, Jan Vickers. Good luck, Richard. Hope you have a good race, and nice to see that there as well. Thanks, let's go 26. Nice one there. So Mr. Vickers here, who's in provisional P32 at the minute, getting some support in there this evening, which is always lovely to see. And don't be afraid to give cars shout outs and let me know. Normally around halfway through the race, I do ask for the viewers to vote on a car who will jump on board with to do a hot lap with. So definitely don't be afraid to let me know who you'd like to see there. Davey Hill, how's it going? Chico has what? Has a pole lap in him tonight. He's not even out and doing that in there at the minute there, Dave. So not much happening there with Chico. He's just chilling by the looks of it. So always good to see people like that come in. He's a wimp. He's just afraid, I think, more than anything else. While all this going on, I'm going to jump back on up front because Morris Bhutan is improving. Ryan O'Sullivan started his last lap there now, essentially, and is improving. Matty Gamble is just about to start his last lap. Actually, as I say that, he actually got into P2 there, and he's on now his last lap. Aaron Holloway will have one more go on it. Peroni will have one more go on it. Fantanuzzi will have one more go on it. Tom Solis will not have. He's invalidated the lap. Trevel is on his last lap. Purr's on his last lap. And back further, Ramundo is on a lap there as well. And there is nobody else other than Simon Kowalowski. So Chico Lindfar is going to be starting P40. So not going to be fun for him, I don't think, coming up through. Maybe he decided the last of first challenge is something he'd like to do, but maybe Davey Hill's right and he might be just a wimp. Who knows? Only Chico does now. It looks like Morris is not going to improve there. Yeah, as he crosses the line, he's not going to improve. So Matty Gamble needs to find... Oh no, he's gone into the pits now. So Peroni needs to find about 4/10 of a second. Ryan O'Sullivan needs to find 3/10 of a second. Fantanozzi about 6/10 of a second. I think that Morris Bhutan has it in the bag at the minute, but it's quite close. Matty Gamble was less than a tenth behind. So it'll be interesting to see. The top 11 are split, or sorry, top 10 are split by a second. Then from 10 down to 22nd is another second. And then down to 34, there's another second there. So it's quite spread out. And with 44 cars on the grid in Silverstone, it's going to be super interesting to see if Peroni goes up into P5. Holloway drops down into P6. Holloway is not improving there. So for the AM side of things, Nathan Warren's done a great job there, starting at P11. Zambioni, though, is actually only one spot behind him. So that's quite interesting. 2 spots, actually. So that is it done for qualifying. And Chico Lindfar is starting dead last. So this is a last to first challenge like no other for him. So the pole time here this evening was Morris in the Ford at 1:57.430. So looking there at the times, the fastest first sector was actually Ryan O'Sullivan at 34.660. Matty Gamble actually holds the fastest second and third sector. So Matty Gamble struggled in the first sector and actually lost 2/10 to Morris. So Matty could have got provisional pole there if he got the first sector nailed. But yeah, sector 2 is a 49.330. And sector 3 is a 33.225. So quite fast laps there from all the guys. Thank you, Chico. LFI top 10 repping. Yeah, well, in fairness, you've got Tom Solis and Trevel in there. So that's 2 drivers from LFI in the top 10. So that's really good going there this evening. There with the bop as well, you've got a 6 kg bop on the Ford. You've got a minus 11 kg on the Honda, plus 4 then on the Aston Martin, plus 14 on the Ferraris this evening. That's quite tough. Plus 13 on the McLaren as well. Plus, is there any other ones there? There should be. Maybe I'm just going mad. Minus 8 on the Mercedes as well. Was there an Audi? Maybe the Audi's missing tonight. Lamborghini's plus 14 as well. Yeah, the Audi isn't racing tonight. They must have signed out as well. So we do have about 8 players actually signed out in single grid just for round 2. They'll be back for round 3. So we should be on a 50 plus grid next week, all going well. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be quite strong this evening. Jan Vickers, I'd like to say I enjoyed the commentary last week. Very informative. Looking for an exciting race. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. I'll probably ruin everybody's name while I'm going through the commentary, but we'll do our best to give the best view of the action that we can do. Of course, we don't be just focused on whoever's leading the race. We look where the action is, and I always look for the closest battles on track. So hopefully, for the viewers watching there through YouTube, for all the Vickers, they'll see a good bit of Richard Dempsey, even if he's in some battles as well. What is Watton? Looking forward to a good race. But sure, I might as well just say Watton anyway. It's going to be a good one. And Silverstone always provides some great race and great overtakes, as I said, then in the Supercharged weekly. Just how good this track is and the corners that really give it away. I love Maggots and Beckett's myself. It's a very technical track to drive on. Scuderia Fantinosi, let's go. This will be amazing. To be honest with you, Fantinosi, after last week, I don't think you can do anything wrong. 34th up to 6th position was just phenomenal stuff from you. So yeah, hopefully there is going to be a good one there. And I know I can't get used to Matthew Gamble driving a Honda either. Of course, Matty Gamble's been known to drive a Beamer for literally over nearly 3 years solid. So it's definitely an interesting view to see him in a Honda. But I'm absolutely loving seeing it. I love to see people trying up something different, and that's what the LFM bop does. It gives people the opportunity to drive something maybe that they wouldn't normally drive and get into it that way. So sorry, I'm just writing in the chat there. Right, so waiting for this session just to roll across. I did reduce it to 3 minutes, so hopefully it jumps across sooner. Of course, then there's the 5-minute build up before the race. Drivers get a chance to run for a pee or do whatever else. Unfortunately, for anyone looking to race with ourselves, this season is now completely full up. If we keep getting these amount of drivers in, we'll go back to what we did and we'll have to open up a second server and have a Pro-Am server and then a Pro server, as there seems to be some really good interest in sim racing as of late. So if you are looking to join us, get into our Discord and let us know if you're looking for a reserve seat for the rest of this season. Obviously, we'll try and get you in. So if I see then that there's, say, only 48 cars in, I can fill up another 2 or 3 seats, I'll tell you to come in. And we will be looking at possibly doing 2 servers, as I say, as for next season. So that will be always fun. Other than that, there's not much really in terms of tonight. We'll definitely keep an eye out for some good hard racing. Of course, last week a few things were brought up. We'll be keeping an eye on people exiting the pit lane. They cannot be cutting across the pit entrance or the pit exit. They need to follow the pit exit out. There was one or two cases where people were taking a few liberties, and then of course were overtaken in the pits as well. Just it can't be done through qualifying, so that'll be reviewed as well after the race. Just a few things like that coming up. Top 10 sandbag retrieval. Love it. Yeah, I don't know what's the crack with it. There we go. As I say, we finally moved into the race. So I do my normal thing. I'm going to jump in here and we'll go through the grid. Now, this week, why isn't this working for me? There we go. Beautiful day in Silverstone. So what I need to do though before I do this correctly, I think, because I'm not going to get everyone's name, I'm just going to run through the grid and just then go kind of a quick little fly around the track and kind of show key points for where we're going to be actually looking at action. That's probably going to happen quite a bit. What I'm looking forward to having a good race. Can I ask what your name is? My name is Colum. Just don't call me too early in the morning. So yeah, some beautiful looking liveries here today. I'm going to showcase the liveries today. Big Rain Racing's livery is a livery that I do really like, and it definitely does stand out. And of course the 2CD 2ID livery, should I say, thinking of John's team, their livery always stands out to me. Matty Gamble does his own. Of course, this is a hybrid of the Supercharged Motorsport team livery. I didn't know what to do with it. I obviously designed these ones ourselves for our team, but you'll see our normal livery further down. The M4R livery is also one that stands out quite a bit, and yeah, I really do like the colour scheme. It really works well. Of course, this is one of my liveries that I've made. So this is a tribute to Nigel Mansell's 1992 World Championship season. All sponsors are like for like what was on the car and similar placement, of course. Trying to get a GT car in. The LFI then team livery is a thing of beauty as well. And Trevel does all the LFI team liveries. And this is our normal team livery for Supercharged Motorsports. And of course I designed that. We went from a black livery last season into something that stands out just slightly a bit more. Of course there's Trevel in his own livery again. And then that looks like a nice looking Porsche, to be fair, nice and simplistic. We've already looked at Supercharged and M4R. These liveries I really like as well. I'm not going to lie. Beautiful looking McLaren, and of course the teammate there in the other McLaren. And these Italian teams as well do some really cool liveries as well. NERT, really cool looking job there. Of course we've seen the Ferrari one out there this evening as well, which is absolutely lovely. Then what other teams do we have? I know Brit made that in game. I'm assuming that's an in-game livery. And then we've got the Sex Pistols livery there for Anonymous Rat. He designed that one himself. Of course, anyone who knows the Sex Pistols will know who that is. Of course, we looked at the HyperX livery. We've looked at the Italian liveries. Is there anything else? This is different, but it looks like an in-game livery. M4R. Oh, Mr. Vickers Cadbury's Boost livery. I do love this. He showcased this in our server the other week as well, and the colour works perfect. And obviously anyone who lives in Ireland or England definitely knows what a Cadbury's Boost is. Cup of tea and a Cadbury's Boost, you can't go wrong. So that's a great job there from Richard. And then we'll go down further. Of course, the M4R livery we've already seen. Anthony Ferrante's livery is a beautiful looking livery there as well. And I'm pretty sure he makes these ones himself. I'm sure he can tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, of course, beautiful looking stuff. That looks like an in-game livery there. Or maybe I'm wrong. HPD? Not sure. But we keep going down because I want to showcase, of course, the Amigos livery. Of course, our associated leagues very close together. I work with Chris very closely with certain things. They've helped us at the start. We've helped them and continue to help each other. And Chico Lindfar, a former admin with ourselves, and he is part of the team, and of course Migo's team and several other teams. He's a very talented driver, so definitely keep an eye for him if you're not used to him on the track. Unfortunately, I was talking that much about liveries. We didn't get to talk too much about this amazing track. But coming up into turn one, let's expect hopefully everyone gets through okay. then Maggots and Beckett's, I'm praying there's not going to be 3 or 4 wide here, because this set of corners here, you nearly do need to be solo. Even having 2 wide, it's going to be quite tight. And then going out onto the hanger straight, expect loads and loads and loads of overtakes down here. But enough of me talking. We need now to get the camera back across, and I need to be doing a little bit of jumping, and we are back at it. So really looking forward to this race here now, and I'm going to jump back on up with Matty Gamble, and we'll go to the helicam here. Pray for no more incidents. Of course, we have the software running, so any incidents are recorded and will be looked at, whether reported or not. Oh yeah, the vintage racing over there does be absolutely amazing. Silverstone as a circuit is top notch racing, and especially with the British GT Championship as well, it's extremely cheap to be going to that. So anyone who is in the UK, definitely support the British GT racing. And we are away and going there. It looks like Matty Gamble's gotten into the lead nicely there. Morris was caught sleeping a little bit, and it also looks like Ryan O'Sullivan is looking up the inside now, as it looks like Morris and Fantanossi have come together there. I'm not sure what exactly happened. We'll try and get a look at that later on. So that is quite a few incidents actually happening here. That's Anthony Ferrante being... So the whole grid has jumped up on me there. So we have Matty Gamble, Ryan O'Sullivan, looks like from Aaron Holloway next. So Aaron Holloway getting up a massive amount of positions there as well. So letting this all settle down before I look too mad. Then Peroni then is in 4th position. It looks like then Tom Solis is in P7. Nathan Warren is up to P9 there. Morris Boutin back out into P10. Ramundo then behind him in P11 there. So not a great start for Morris at all. Not sure what the crack was there, to be absolutely honest about it there. Looking back further, Zambioni then is down in P12. Looking back further, who is dropping off massively? So Leopard is down and dead last at the minute. Where is Coquet Trevel's down in 39th position. Chico Linfar is now up in 36th. Make that probably 35th in a second, though he's run quite wide. So not much happening there for him at the minute. Richard Vickers up into P28, it looks like. Well, I think that's P29 from what I can see on my screen. Maybe I'm missing something, but it looks like it's P29 once the server settles down, I'm sure. Maybe it is P28 actually. For some reason Anthony Ferrante is in the pits. So Aaron Holloway running actually in P3, not P2 or P4. So Matty Gamble is under pressure now from Ryan O'Sullivan, but as I say that, Peroni looks like he's after getting by Ben Shawley, and Ben Shawley is under pressure now from Tom Solis. So while Shawley got a good start there as well, he is under massive pressure there from Tom. As we get on to the next, although he's putting back a bit of pressure on to Peroni there now. Back further, Nathan Warren up in P8 pit now at the minute, is only 0.6 of a second off Tour. Getting a nice toe there as well, pulling in quite a bit of time. Finley Gamble with Zanibioni just ahead there. Finley's tucking in. Finley will have nowhere to go though. Through Maggots and Beckett's there. He has to sit and wait patiently there as Zambioni takes a bit more of the curb. I see him kicking up a bit of grass. Finley gets a little bit sideways on the exit there, but holds it nicely. You got Terry Dunn right behind him with Zatsiev right there as well. And Barry Dunn going for the move. Finley Gamble though holds the inside line. Barry gets the brake just a bit wrong, clips the grass under brake and gets a little bit disturbed by that. The car loosens up a little bit, but he keeps it under control. And now he's hard on the brake, single file, stay all the way to the right, hook back to the left there. You don't want to run that curve too much now. You need to open this corner up and then flat to the mat. You can really abuse the curb there in the GT cars as well. I'm going to go back further as stuff is going on there as well. So Simon Kowalowski is now up into P29, slowly pushing forward there as well. Next up for him, it looks like, will be Melliot. So Melliot now just ahead in that Honda at the minute. Richard Vickers now is actually up into P22 here as well. The Aston trying a bit of a dummy move there, trying to just maybe make Richard kind of think twice about that. But Texera is no matter what he does, I don't think is going to get too much of a reaction out of Vickers there. He's going to stay composed and keep the eyes forward and not looking behind. The worst thing you can do while racing is focus too much on the car behind. Obviously be aware of it there and learn what to defend, but you need to keep your eyes forward. As Richard gets a bit of a cut there, but it doesn't seem to be too bad there at the minute, as Texiera there is just sitting patiently. Richard on the exit, he stamped on the throttle a little bit too early. You see he got a little bit loose, but he gets it back in. Gonna jump back on now here with Leonardo de Chiara, as they're trying to put a bit of a move on Zatsiev. Britt Batiste there also. You see Finley Gamble and Dunn just ahead of that there again. But I'm going to try and get back to the back of the grid. There's stuff happening back there as well that I haven't been able to get into now. As Fantanossi pits already. He's going to try and do what he did last week. Of course, it's 2 mandatory pit stops here tonight, and it is a 75-minute race. Oh, as we've got the Lamborghini M4R going off there in the background there. So Puglioni's in the pits, Kowalowski's in the pits, Fantanossi's in the pits. Quite a few of them there. Back on with Isidro here as he's fighting with Di Martino. And Isidro's right there. Martino though holding the inside, or maybe pushing the inside a bit out there, but gets away with that one. Back on with Ben Shawley, 0.2 of a second off Perioni. BMW is quite strong here. He's thrown a little bit of sandbags out, saying that the car wasn't feeling too great earlier on in the evening, but obviously those sandbags are starting to show here now. Sparkles have a... I think people need better spotters, lol. Yeah, I don't know what happened there to start. Crew Chief is a free spotter for anybody who doesn't use it. I'd recommend downloading that. It's always super handy. As Richard Vickers here looking for a defense move on Texiera. Texiera is gotten by Richard, but can he do that and come back at him? Let's jump on board here with him as he gets a much nicer line. Oh, he's right on the back of Texiera. The Aston Martin, I know, is a rocket in a straight line. There's a tiny gap approaching. Richard might go for the move. Oh, I think he's got the braking wrong and is after hitting the back of Texiera. Oh no. The stewards will look at it after the race, but he's going to keep going there. Where does Texiera come out? He's back out there. He's lost a few positions there in that there. So he's down 3 positions. So Richard will probably be getting slapped from the steward's office in the next day or two when it's all being reviewed. But let's see how the rest of the race goes. I won't be too worried about it. You need to forget about it and move on for now. And let's see how that goes. So Zatsiev is doing a good job there. Still half a second off with Batiste. Ahead, Barry Dunn and Finley Gamble still about half a second fighting each other. Nathan Warren's doing a phenomenal job there. 0.9 off per, while Solis, Shawley and Perioni all quite close together. When you look at it like this, less than a second covers the 3 of them. So Ryan O'Sullivan's dropped back a second now on wee Matty Gamble, who's out in the lead. Of course, Matty Gamble used to driving his little PD Bora with a big hybrid turbo. Whether Smoker's poke is his sin, and he's doing a good job here this evening, leading the race. And look at this Ben Shawley all over the back of Perioni. Solis there just kind of sitting and hoping something happens and maybe he gets a freebie of 2 positions. So Perioni still holding off the advances of Shawley and Solis for now. We'll come back to them if the gap drops down. I'm going to jump back now to Texiera and Danek. 0.2 of a second off each other there. As Rat and Rodriguez, look at this. Nearly 3-way through. Rodriguez though had huge damage, so Rat's after getting through there. And that looks like... Was that ahead there? Martino was looking like he'd cut up massive time there at Melia, but it's kind of dropped back a bit, maybe got braking a bit wrong and caught up, as Morris Boutin now is right behind Rodriguez there. Morris carrying quite a bit of damage there. You see the bonnet moving up and down on that Ford Mustang. He's going to have to definitely pit soon enough, use up one of his pit stops and fix that damage. Although if he doesn't find it's cost him too much and it's only minor front damage in terms of aero loss, then he should be fine. But only Morris will know that while driving. Back further in this one, Anthony Frante's back out of the pits finally. Car mended and away he's going. Back on there, Puglioni. I'm going to jump back a bit further here now as Ben Shawley is still putting absolute pressure on Perioni here, as we are now, what, about 10 minutes into this race? I can't even think at the minute. Oh, you can see the difference there. The McLaren of Tom Solis is able to carry much more speed in those corners as well. I'm wondering, will Tom be trying to push and get his way by quite soon? Although Texiera now and Stanek is now 0.1 of a second. Let's see how this one goes. As we stay on there with Texiera, he's showing the nose, but not enough to cause an issue. I think that move doesn't seem to be working with a lot of these drivers. Back on with Puglioni. That keeps dropping and coming back together. So Texiera now 0.2 of a second off Stanek, with Spitzen sitting right there looking to make an attack as well. So they're really going to have to figure out what is going to work to get by. The Aston Martin obviously quite stronger there. The Honda does have a really good exit though. I remember driving it myself. Apologies, needed a drink there. I didn't expect to be talking that much so quickly. As Melly and Rat have swapped positions there now. So Rat's gone ahead there and pushing forward, bucking on to Gallimillo. Let's go back 15 seconds. It looks like there was a bit of an overtake there. Yeah, his teammate just got kind of off the brakes, ran a bit wide. No, he's letting by. Okay, so it looked like he was getting by and then didn't. Okay, back into the race we go. So Barry Dunn is still there with Finley Gamble. Britt Batista is now only half a second off him. So Barry Dunn is definitely going to be looking at that rear wing and seeing that Aston Martin's nose getting bigger here now. So he's going to have to figure out a way now of getting by Finley if Finley is the cork in the bottle, because he does not want to be caught down by Batiste as well. Obviously with different splits there is the 5-second rule as well. I know Batiste is definitely in the pros. But so far, some really good driving from everyone out there. Obviously, a few incidents as well to be looked at. Chico Linfar is up in P34 and looking to get going further. I don't think he got caught in any damage there, although he has pit stop once. Maybe I'm wrong, because that was time stop 7 seconds. So maybe he got a splash and dash and maybe fixed a minor bit of damage. So at least he's got one pit stop done and is pushing forward. Also, Morris Boutin, of course, has actually stopped for a 5-second pit stop. So maybe he didn't fix the damage. Maybe he'd be up not to. If there was any mechanical, he would have done that. But it looks like there was the splash and dash done by Morris and nothing got to do with anything else. As it looks like Perioni's after having a moment. Coming down there, Ben Shawley on the outside. Perioni pushing at him. And unfortunately for Perioni, that just looked like an unfortunate incident there. Obviously the stewards will look at it after the race. Perioni's dropped down. Tom Solis now in P5 are in the back of Ben Shawley here now. And that was 4th position. Now this is the thing, Tom Solis can smell a P4 and then could try and work forward to try and catch Aaron Holloway then. While that's happening, Britt Batista's in the pits. Also Perioni is now in the pits as well. Gallimeo out there doing a good job, but definitely needs to fix that Lamborghini after having a little bit of damage, to be fair. Looking elsewhere, Tom Solis and Shawley side by side here. This is great stuff. You see the Solis ran a little bit too wide. He was looking like he was getting the job done. When you hang yourself out too wide there, you get on the marbles as well. And the drive-through there for car number 343. So that is Ozidru who has a drive-through there. Super unlucky for him. I'll jump on with Texera here now as he's on the inside of Stanek here. This is the better line to have into this corner. And that looks like it's going to be the job done, although the Honda's coming back at him. It's not finished yet, but then Texera has the better racing line for the next corner. He's going to be holding the inside line. The Honda gets out of it. And Anonymous Rat trying to get involved there as well. But Texera, great move there. I'm going to jump straight back on though to Shawley and Solis. As these two back close again. Although Solis going up the inside, making Ben run a little bit wider. It's not working. Ben is holding his own out there today. Tom Solis though, right back at him there again. LFI versus Supercharged, and yeah, to be fair, he's doing a good job out there as Ben, but I'm obviously loving seeing Tom back racing as well. So it's one of those ones I'd love to see Supercharged stay ahead, but at the same time, I'm okay with if we get past, because Solace is a bit of a legend, to be fair about it. Solace is eyeing up the move now. Oh, he's not going to try double-sided, is he? No, he was just showing the nose. Surely wasn't getting out of it. Okay, let's see how this one goes. So Nathan Warren is sitting there with Poor as well, which is very, very interesting there. Nathan now sitting in P7 as Barry Dunn has finally got by Finley Gamble, literally just in the last section of corners there. And we'll be delighted with that one there. And so that's a Z-Drew with the drive through 2 more laps to get that done. Otherwise, there will be a few issues from him from the game. As Spitzin just gets by Stanek there. Do we get that on view? We do. Spitzin up the inside, or sorry, on the outside. That was a brave decision to do there, but luckily Spitzin can say thanks to Stanek for having a race and brain and getting out of that there. Going side by side into Maggots and Beckett's. You need a set of cojones on you like no other. As Anonymous goes up the inside here and gets the job done on his Idrew there. Britt Batiste with, it looks like Melliot. Britt Batiste up the inside. Melliot though cutting back in him, but gets out of it, it looks like. And now Britt Batiste is by, and away he goes. Back up further. Shawley and Solace still have a 0.1, but Finley and Dunn super close. Finley Gamble though has a bit of a toe here. 0.2 of a second off. That Beamer in a straight line though is super fast. And there's not much Finley can do there, only sit and wait. Interesting battle behind Britt Batiste. You got Melliot, Peroni, and then Ramondo all within a second of each other there, which is absolutely cool. And Chico Lindfar up in P29, make that P28 there. Beautiful job done, of course. That Aston Martin though carrying huge damage. So Chico is slowly but surely making his way up the road, of course. He would have been teammated by John Dudley tonight. John couldn't make the race. And I know Chris will be joining in a few races' time, as that looks like Melliot there has had a moment and is back on the track and going away with it. So I'm going to go back further up the grill here, or grid here now. Splitzing right there with Texiera. Nieto right there with Podicott as well. Podicott drive through 1 more lap for Ozidru to actually clear that off. But yeah, I'm very proud of Andy Podicott here as well. Doing a great job for us this evening. And doing a good job holding off Nieto. Not the easiest things to do. And let that be said. So very good job there. And let me have a look as Rodriguez is in the pits. And also Melliot is in the pits there as well. So the guy's getting in for a pit stop now. We're down just under the hour mark left in this race here this evening. And yeah, Finley Gamble is still trying to put the pressure on and sticking with Barry Dunn. And they're about 1.8 seconds clear of Zatsiev just behind there as well for the RGT team. But yeah, going very well. And Tom Solis there, half a second off. And this man here leading the race, Matty Gamble. How are you doing, Matty? He is 1.5 seconds clear of there's Ryan O'Sullivan in P2. Then in P3, only 8 seconds back, is Aaron Holloway in P3 in his Porsche. P4 then is, of course, Ben Shawley, who's 6.1 seconds off him. And half a second behind there is Tom Solis. The next down the road we have our Poor there, so Robert Poor is in P6. Nathan Warren is in P7 at the minute. This is a very strong showing from after a tough showing in Spa last week. Then we've got Barry Dunn next in P8. Finley Gamble is in P9. Ruslan Zatsiev is in P10. Leonardo Cliara is in P11. Then we have Victor Folkin in P12. I do like that livery on the Beamer as well, actually. Then we have Andy Podicott in P13. Then we have Alex Nieto in P14. Then we have Paolo Cisco in P15. Richard Vickers now up into, actually, sorry, should I say P16. Ciesco is P15. So Richard Vickers is after making quite a good move out into P16. Then we've got Rue Texiera in P17 now coming back for an attack. Then we have Roman Spitzen in P18. Then we have Thomas Stanek in P19. Anonymous Rat then is in P20. I don't know why it's saying P19 there. Maybe I'm missing something. So then we have Azidro saying P21. Go by the game Morris Bhutan in P22. Britt Batista in P23. Then we have Fabio Perioni in P24. Then we have Gaeto Ramundo in P25. Then we have Thomas Sanbioni in P26. Chico Lindfar is in P27. Simon Kowalowski is in P28. Puglioni is in P29. Terry Dunn is in P30. Then we have Trevel So Fucking Slow in P31. Then we have Pazzaro Calamello in P32. This is where the names get ruined. Then we have Vincenzo Di Martino in P33. Vladimir Leopard, I don't know what way he's going to call his name, in P34. Then we have Daniel Volkov in P35. Avon in P36. Then we have John Melliot in P37. Then we have Joshua Rodriguez in P38. Giuseppe Zampereri in P39. Bruno Fantanozzi in P40. Anthony Ferranti then in P41. So we've lost a few drivers there. Azidro has been disqualified from the race for not using up his penalty. So that is his own fault, unfortunately. And we stick by those rules. So you need to serve your drive through pretty much within 3 laps, otherwise you are disqualified. Sylvexon back now. Melon slices and honey ice cream. I like racing, but no contest there. Honey ice cream I don't know about. If you were to say banana with a bit of vanilla and chocolate ice cream, and maybe, you know, heat up the banana a bit, I might be interested in that then. But yeah, no, honey ice cream won't be my forte, but I do like melon. Who doesn't like melon? Right, back into this. Tom Solis though, 0.2 of a second off Ben Shawley. And a question for any viewer who's watching as Solis throws a dummy: what's your favourite crisp sandwich? So whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube or anywhere else, while we're watching this great battle, let me know your favourite crisp sandwich. It can be bougie or non-bougie, you decide, it's yours. Finley Gamble still there on 0.8, putting on a bit of a good fight, to be fair, to stick with Barry Dunn. So Polycott still has the 8 down, Cisco right behind as well, doing a great job there. Richard Vickers now has Texiera and Spitzen at him there, so Richard might be a bit more composed now after the last battle with these guys. Much different lines, but Richard keeps a nice line, and the Porsche traction out with that corner there, absolutely immense there. And Texiera will have to use every bit of the Aston Martin's turbocharged AMG V8 to catch up now with him, which is mad to see. So Richard doing a great job there for now. Let's see, can he stay in it as Azidro is in the pits, as everyone's passing him now after him being disqualified. So he would have been automatically brought back to the pits. Cheese and onion walkers on white bread. Okay. Do Pringles count as crisp? Pringles can be counted as a crisp, mate. Not a bother. Cheese and onion walkers, though, yeah, they're good. Of course, obviously, me being Irish, I love me tato. I would take tato over King. Solis 0.3 of a second off. So Solis is not finding a way by. Possibly if he pitted, it might help. The undercut might work here. Depends on his pace then if he was in free air. As I say that, he's up the inside there. Ben has to run a bit wider. Although Ben holds the inside line for the next corner. Tom's going to be caught with the braking and the apex. And now Ben should have a slightly better top end run than the Macca, but the Macca is just so good. The buck-tooth beamer, huh? Yeah, Tom's not going to get by there. He's just going to have to sit and wait. I think he's better off maybe pitting and trying to get himself a bit of an undercut there. Oh, mash sandwich trumps all. What, mashed spuds on a sandwich? I've never heard of that one. Jan Vickers prawn cocktail sandwich every time. Prawn cocktail. Never thought of that. Prawn cocktail is a nice old flavour, to be fair about it. I'm stuck between either Tato or do you remember Disco's salt and vinegar, the really salty ones? They're awesome in a crisp sandwich too, but they're super crunchy. Thomas Solis though, right back here again. The Macca is so much better through Maggots and Beckett's there. Now, this is the thing though, every time he gets close, it's the top end that seems to let down the McLaren. The B1 sees to be that little bit faster. I'm going to jump on here with Texera and Vickers, because Texera now has a run, just not there. And has to get over. Oh, and he's got cut out there, and that looks like he's going to lose out to Spitzen. Wow, so while he was going for the move on Vickers, then he ends up defending now against Anonymous Rat there. Spitzen gets by. Well, Spitzen took a lot of curb there. I don't know how he didn't go flying, but he's done a good job there. So yeah, Spitzen up now. He is about half a second off Vickers. I think that's good for Vickers. He's going to get himself a little bit of room there. That looks like a back marker was off in the background of that one there. So Solis is still behind Ben Shawley at the minute. Ben having the race of his life there at the minute. On now with Di Martino, and they are fighting there with Aluminium, P31 and P32. Trevel is starting to catch up to Terry Dunn, so Trevel will be looking to get by Terry Dunn quite soon. Both are in BMWs, so that should be quite an interesting one. A mashed potato sandwich. Like, if I ever felt bougie, what I do is I'd have a crisp sandwich, but I'd throw a bit of cheese and ham into it. And I'm telling you here and now, that's next level crisp sandwich stuff. But Trevel's not getting by as you'd expect. So Spitzen's after getting by Vickers. Apologies, that was missed off the camera. An Anonymous Rat though takes an opportunistic dive up the inside and makes it work. So now Vickers is after losing, unfortunately for him, 2 positions down in P18, but is close enough to try and fight back. He is pulling the draft from Anonymous Rat. Anonymous Rat's going to hold the inside. So Vickers goes back to the outside. And then Rat now seems like free of him for now. We know the Porsche though has a much better exit on the corner, so let's see what his driver's like here. He's only 0.4 of a second off him, running quite wide. Nicely done. Barry Dunn is in the pits there as well, just to note. And O'Sullivan now is actually 2.8 seconds, so Matty now is starting to open a bit of a gap, and especially with back markers now, probably not ideal for O'Sullivan. Alex Nieto is still about 0.8 of a second off Mr. Polycotton. While all that's going on, there is changes everywhere. Anonymous Ratto is less than a second off Spitzen. Richard Vickers is right there also, but he is under pressure from Mr. Rue Texiera, as of course last. Oh, look at the power difference there. Aston Martin versus Porsche, and it looks like Vickers has the inside line, so let's see how this one goes here. Aston Martin's running wider. Richard though seems to have the corner. Texiera's lost out there. Great driving for both drivers to make it through there and not have any incidents, so that's what we like to see. Had a cheese, Tom, and spring onion toast there. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's starting to become the season for toasties, isn't it? The old cold weather. We're half talking about sim racing and half talking about sandwiches. Sure, how else would you want to? Chico leaned far from last, up into P24 at the minute, and catching Raimundo. It's going to be any minute now. We'll see Chico coming by. Of course, Chico hasn't really done league racing or ACC league racing, I would say close to about 9, maybe 10 months. He's been more into iRacing, of course. With work lately, he actually hasn't really sim raced at all. He's just been so busy working, so this is just fun to see him back racing here, and good to see him putting on a bit of a show, doing a last of 4. So in terms of positions, at the minute he's up 18 positions, but also up 18 positions is Stanek. Up 15 positions is Richard Vickers. 17 positions for Vulcan. Who's the biggest loser? Not that we want to say that. Bruno Fantanozzi down 33 positions. He was up 34 positions last week. He's down 33 this week. How the tables have turned, but let's see how that develops. As I say, he did pick quite early in the race, so while it does seem that he has been although he was stopped for 2 minutes, so he had Mahus of damage. Of course, he was involved in the incident with Morris Bhutan. I forgot about that. So, right, maybe this is just going to be a tough week for him. It is what it is, unfortunately. We all have good ones and bad ones. Now, Nieto was only 0.4 of a second off. Texiera, though, is only 0.2 of a second off Vickers this time round. If he's able to get the inside line here, I think Vickers will not have an answer. And he does. Vickers, though, trying to do the cutback. But no, Texiera has got the move done there for him. And you've got Vickers giving a bit of a flash, a bit of acknowledgement there. Because that was good fair racing from both of them there. You see then right behind them, they have Stanek and Morris Bhutan right there as well. So this one's going to be absolutely unbelievable in a lap or two, of course. The different splits will have to get out of the way. Andy Podicott still holding off Alex Nieto for now. Tom Solis is now dropped to 1 second off Ben Shawley, so we won't be looking too far ahead at the minute. It's more so looking behind Raimundo. 0.2 of a second behind Chico Lindfars. Chico gets by up to P20. Chico goes. Then we've got Trevel with Cisco side by side here. Jump on with the heli cam here for this one there. Oh, Trevel breaks much later there. And I honestly just think that was Cisco saying different split, get by me, not my race. And that's the right thing to do in terms of the rules as well. So great stuff there from you, Cisco. And away is Trevel going. Simon Kowalowski there as well is about a 0.7 of a second or so now off Zambioni there as well. So be interesting for him to see, can he do any more? If he can, let's see how that develops. Also looks like into the pits is Texiera now, and of course Richard going for here. So this is going to be a battle of who actually pit stops faster. I'm going to keep an eye on that one, as Tom Solis now is about half a second off. I'm going to keep an eye on the Rickers Texiera thing as well in the pits. Have I tried the new sausage sarnie flavour crisps yet? They're my favourite. Who does the sausage sandwich ones? See, I'm in Ireland myself, so I wouldn't have access to most of the flavours that the UK or others would have. But who does them? We can look it up. That'd be an interesting one. So I'm looking at the pit stops here. So it looks like Richard Vickers is doing his pit stop for tyres now, because he's sitting there long enough, which would definitely, for me, say that he is doing his tyre change there now. 33, 34, 34 second stop for him. Now Texiera is 33, 34, 34 second stop. So, oh, that was neck and neck. Wow. So Texiera does get out ahead. Barely. Wow, that was literally the exact same time. Normally there's a second kind of out in between. Morris Bhutan up into P16 with Stanek now. Right there also. And Morris now is going to try and put an attack on. Of course, Stanek's probably going to have to get out of the way if it's been about 5 corners, because he's super close. He can't be fighting pros. Morris is being more than polite there, but if they are reported for it and they are guilty of it, they have to get out of the way. So Nathan Warren coming out of the pits, of course. My favourite endurance teammate. We've had some really good races, especially the Amigos one. Or sorry, not the Amigos, the LFI Bathurst race was awesome. And it absolutely was a pleasure to be in the car with him. So great to see Nathan coming back out there, doing a great job. And Spitzen's in the pits there now as well. So pit stops coming and flowing. So Tom Solis, I think, maybe had a bit of a break from sitting on the very, very back of Ben here. And I do feel that he's going to start pushing for a move now and start moving forward. Oh, as the Beamer goes off ahead. It was a lovely move, you're dead right. Tom, though, opening up lovely. He's going to have to try to cut back, unfortunately. But see, Ben is doing probably the right thing there. Oh, Tom runs a bit wide now. We'll have to regain that ground. But he's probably just played the apex perfectly there. Now Tom's dropped off about 2 seconds. So we'll see how quick he catches up with him, because that'll give you an inclination of what it'd be like if he was in free air also. And back to Kowalowski, who is 0.2 of a second off Mr. Dunn there as well. So we're coming to the halfway mark, so I want everyone to get in their votes now. Tell me who you'd love to see a full on-board lap with, where I shut me trap and we just enjoy an on-board full lap. Get your votes in now. In the next probably 5 minutes or so, we'll pick someone who has the most names voted. So get voting in Twitch and in YouTube. Sparkle says Tom. So Sylvixen says Tom. Tom Solis has 2. Chico says Davy Hill. Nothing in from YouTube just yet, mostly from Twitch. So let me know who you'd love to see the on board with. And we'll get into it, as I say, in a few minutes' time. I'll check the amount of votes that's in there. Tom is leading the votes here at the minute with 2 votes. Chico with 1. And let's see how that goes. As we've loads in the pits, you've got Charlie, Nieto, Folk, and Bhutan. We've got loads in the pits there. Matty Gamble still yet to pit, of course, our race leader, doing a phenomenal job. He's now 5.6 seconds clear of Ryan. And unfortunately, I'd say that's down a little bit as well to traffic. As Ben Shawley comes out in P16, Barry Dunn behind. Kowalowski is just ahead there. And they're both in the same split, so it is fair to race. So probably not ideal. I don't know why he's flashing. They don't have to move out of the way. This is Batek flasher, I like to call that. Trevel doing a decent job there. Morris Bhutan still in the pits. This is going to be a tyre change for Morris. As Brit Batisto, 0.1 of a second. That's going to be from a different split, so that'll be boy. And away he goes. Jumping back up further there. Trevel on the back of Terry Dunn now. Matty Gamble's in the pits. Aaron Holloway's in the pits. So Ryan O'Sullivan takes over as the leader of this race in his first lap in the lead in a while. So good to see the current champ now leading the race in that beautiful Aston Martin. And away he goes forward. Martin Vickers, well, obviously I'm voting for Richard Vickers too. Richard Vickers for Yana Martin. So 2 votes for Richard Vickers. Looks like 2 votes for Tom. 1 vote for Chico. Can we get a few more votes in, guys? There's enough people watching there to get 1 or 2 more votes in. Let me know who you'd love to see a lap bomb with. If there's someone that you know racing, or just someone who you think might be interesting to watch. As Ben Showley, it's boy Kowalowski, I think, is into the pits. Yes, that's why I was looking there. So Perioni behind Stanek there as well. Matty Gamble 1.2 seconds off Tom Solis, who was not pitted. So Matty Gamble, of course, the provisional race leader, if you think about it. Of course, Solis and Ryan O'Sullivan ahead have not pitted there. Matty's pit stop was a splash and dash, so Matty does have another pit to do, which will be fairly interesting to see. So yeah, Matty Gamble now 0.5 of a second off Tom Solis, and has got his pit stop done. He's got 1 more to do, of course, with it being a mandatory race. What I actually might do as well, if I can do it properly, there we go. I'll give you that there, so you have the little pit counter on the screen as well. Apologies, the picture will jump for a second. And there you'll actually have the split time and then the counter of the pit numbers. As we see Matty Campbell going in for a second pit stop now, along with Tom Solis. So this will be Matty's longer stop. Matty getting both his pit stops done. He's confident he won't have any little incidents before the end of the race, so fair play to him. Then we have Gillimello coming in with quite a bit of damage onto that car, and then we've got Petra Hale saying Richard Vickers. So Richard Vickers looks like they're winning the vote for the onboard laps. So let me see, where is Richard Vickers now? So Richard Vickers, I'll wait till he comes around to the main straight and then we'll jump on board. Richard Vickers is going to win the votes here. 3 votes versus 2 votes versus 1 for Chico. And speaking of Chico, he's sitting up in P11 now. Of course, pit stops to be counted. He still has one more to go. So Chico is absolutely flying there. P7, P6. Told you to watch out for this man. So at the minute, up 36 positions. If he does that by the end of the race, I'll tip the hat at him, not a bother. Matty Gamble's coming out on P10. By the way, I forgot to say Matty Gamble actually does have the fastest lap at 57.37 as well. Let's jump back on with Richard Vickers now. Close now to coming up to the main straight. So we'll stay on with Richard as he is fighting hard with Britt Batiste, Terry Dunn into the pits then ahead, as well as Peroni, Puglioni, Polycott, Stanek. Pit stops are very busy at the minute. Looks like Ryan O'Sullivan is going into the pits as well. He is. So I'm going to shut up now. Let's jump on and enjoy. Nice smooth driving there from Richard, and that is voted from by the viewers. So let's have a quick update since the last few minutes of what's going on track. We have got Pure actually provisionally on P1 with Chico Leanfar up into P4 now. We've got Cliara down in P9, then very close to Finley Gamble with Zatsiev there. Matty Gamble, after doing both pit stops, is running P6 at the minute. Ben Shawley is just ahead of one pit stop done, running P5. They were stopped for 32 seconds each for the tyre stop. Ryan O'Sullivan running P2, of course, is yet to pit for the second stop. So later on we will see that. Aaron Holloway's done both his stops. He's running P11. Of course, before pit stops, running P3. So it'll be interesting to see, has anyone done any genius moves now. This is what I like now, is the maths. With people so offset with pit strategies and stuff like that, it's going to be very, very fun to see where people actually really are by the end of this one here. And yeah, should be very good fun. Silverstone Tom needs wiring the Macca's neck for that. He's been doing a good job on it, to be fair about it. Looking back further there, it looks like Kowalowski and Bhutan having a bit of a stop. I think that was Bhutan getting by there. And moving on, Spitzen though, Perioni, Raimondo and Vickers all in close contention, less than about a second and a half covering both of these, or sorry, four of these should I say. Ahead of Richard then is Britt Batiste, 5.1 seconds up the road there. Raimundo Perioni, and then of course Roman Spitzan, who we've seen earlier on. Thomas Stanek is about a second or so, maybe a little bit under a second off Simon Kowalski. Terry Dunn and Mr. Slow Trevel have swapped positions. Anthony Ferrante, the absolute legend that he is running a P40, but doing a decent job. Of course, we are missing our good boy, Mr. Mark Watson here, aka Rabs, this evening. He had a little operation the other day. So, Rabs, for myself, I hope you're healing up nicely. And I'm sure I'll chat to you in the PUBG part of the server at some stage later on or tomorrow. Hopefully you're doing well and resting up. And if you're watching, I love you always, baby. Now back looking here at the racing instead of me annoying Tez. We're going to go on to Falcon here, who is now about half a second or so off Nieto, just ahead. Matty Gamble's 2.6 seconds off, surely. That shouldn't make too much of a difference. And Richard Vickers looks like he's after being caught by Raimundo. Let's go back 15 seconds. Let's see what happened here. Raimundo, he gets a nice line at the inside. Richard gives him the room though. And Richard has to get out of it there in the second part. I don't think Richard was expecting that. But good job by both drivers. Good fair racing. And no touching, which is what we like to see. So, good job. Oh, Richard under a bit of pressure there from, it looks like Spitzin. We know Spitzen's quite fast, but Morris Bhutan is looking to get involved with these. A lot of these guys will have to move out of the way, though, at some stage. Yeah, and I noticed that as well. Sorry, I didn't say it on stream there, but Tom Solis has undercut Ben. And if you look at both of them there, have only pitted once, and Tom's done a great job. So Tom only stopped for 20 seconds, so I'd assume that was fuel and damage. More so than anything else. Ben Charlie though done tyres. I think Tom might not run tyres in the McLaren here. They should be able to do 75 minutes, I'd assume, without exploding. Zatsiev up the inside of Finley for position here as well, and gets the job done. So Finley has to finally give way and get by. Vulcan is super close this time, but not close enough. Anonymous Rat and Cisco. Cisco on the inside. Rat on the outside. Rat's going to try and swing it around the outside. He's doing an amazing job if he's able to hold this one off. That's a move and a half around the outside there from Mr. Rat. Pulls the inside line to make sure the Merc can't do anything back. That was an absolutely beautiful move there if I've ever seen one. Well done. That's what we love to see. Absolutely love to see that. Aaron Holloway now 0.4 of a second off Cleara as well. Let's see what Holloway can do. Jumping on with Holloway there. Of course, this is for same split, although Holloway's done both of his pits. I think that's the issue with doing both your pits now. You can get stuck behind guys because technically they can still race. That's going to be tough. Let's see how that one goes. So Chico Lindfar has decided to pit now for a second time. Matty Gamble there now up into P5. 0.8 of a second off Ben Shawley. And it'll be interesting to see, does Ben let him by? I hope to God he does. I'd never see the point that if I know I'm a lap down, I'm not going to fight someone that's faster than me personally. I would not do that. Of course, the drivers are allowed to do what they want. But I do hope that Ben just lets him by and doesn't get involved like that. As Matty Gamble, or sorry, you see Cleara doing exactly what I was just saying. Just get out of a fight that you know is not yours. He lets Holloway by and gets on with it. Tip the hat to you, mate. What we like to see there. Guy in P1 still has 2 stops to do. That is very correct there. I don't know why they're waiting so long to do the stops, but why not? If that's what you're into, as Matty Gamble gets by Ben. Thanks, Ben. That's exactly what I like to see. Don't get involved in stuff like that there as well. And you see the hazards on for Matty Gamble saying thank you. That's exactly how racing etiquette should be, and that's what I like to see here. So thank you to the drivers for doing the correct thing. Tom Solis is 5.5 seconds of the road. Now Ben, if he can do it, can try and stick with Matty and try and somehow get a bit of a toe up, as Poor actually is in for his 4th stop, so he'll drop out, putting Ryan O'Sullivan back into the lead. Finley Gamble though coming back at Zatsiev. What can he do? Andy Polycott there, 0.2 of a second off Cisco now. So let's see Is there going to be anything happening here? There could be a few moves available to him. Now, Polycott is definitely running fresh rubber. He's going to go on the inside. He's later on the brake. Cisco gets a wider line in the Mercedes. And Polycott gets the job done. Cisco then gets a little bit tail happy. And that gives Polycott just enough breathing room now not to worry too much on exit, and gets on with it there as Richard Vickers goes into the pits, as we just literally jumped on with him for his, coming out of the pits from his second stop. So he's going all the way to the end now as well. Of course, there's plenty of cars ahead yet to pit. Vickers is only a second off Galimeo just ahead. So there's still plenty of fighting for these guys, and there still is plenty of cars ahead still yet to make their full stop. So the full painting has not been fully painted out here on what's happening this evening. Of course, a few drivers massively out of position there as well. Fantanozzi being one of them, down in 36th position. It's just not been his race today. He's down 32 positions. Chico Leanfar came out of the pits in P18. He's now 0.2 of a second off Nathan Moran, who's 0.3 of a second off Texiera. So Chico's probably looking to take 2 cars here, as Nathan just letting them by. Fair play, Nathan. Knows it's not his fight, knows their different splits, and gets out of it. Drive through there for Cisco. Ouch. So the Mercedes, after being overtook, now has himself a little drive through. Texiera was actually the car that's just behind him there, so that's unfortunate for him. A drive through in Silverstone isn't too bad. If they got that in last week's race in Spa, you would be absolutely crying. So at least it's not too bad in Silverstone compared to others. So Chico now just has to get by Texiera. Chico pushing it out, and he's right to do so as well. Different splits need to move out of the way as well. They've only a 5-corner rule. Anyone breaks that 5-corner rule, drivers, please submit that. And of course, they will get their penalties. That's the rule book is there. It's a stricter rule book this year than previous years, for the simple reason we want to make the racing good and fair, and I don't want to see splits racing each other when it makes zero difference in a championship. And that's a lovely, lovely move there from wee Finley Gamble, who is definitely faster at this present moment in time. And splits are allowed to overtake if they're faster, that's fine also. As Matty Gamble, have they had a moment, or am I just going mad? He has. Matty had dropped it. Wow. So Matty's after losing 8 seconds. Ryan O'Sullivan, you're back in this game by a ways. So the current champion now, I'm not sure if he's aware, but has a huge opportunity to take themselves their first win of season 7. Wowzers. That's a rare, rare, rare mistake from Matty Gamble. And it looks like it was there was no one else there. Like no one else was involved in that, so I wasn't expecting that. Cisco is now using up, he's using his drive through now, he's getting it done. He doesn't want to be getting the SQ'd. Nathan Warren is all over the backs of Texiera, Morris Boutan, all over the back of Raimundo. Raimundo will surely get out of the way after these corners. You're not to be fighting with a different split. If they're in half a second, then Morris is well within half a second, although he's took a bit of a cut there. Morris definitely going to have the move done. And that's why I reminded people in the Discord today to read the rules. They need to be aware of these things. Zatsiev and Holloway are at it there. Holloway has got by, and I've missed that off stream. Aaron's going to murder me for missing it, as I was looking back at other stuff. Ryan O'Sullivan's in the pits. So Ryan O'Sullivan out of the pits. Matty Gamble's coming out. So Matty Gamble is now behind Ryan by 3 and a bit seconds. So Ryan O'Sullivan is out and in the lead by 2.7 seconds. For Matty's spin has really hurt him there. He's lost about 8 seconds or more actually due to that. And Ruslan Zatsiev is doing a great job. He's sticking with Aaron Holloway. Aaron Holloway is 1.5 seconds off wee Finley Gamble. And that's Matty's cousin for anyone who doesn't know. So Vulcan and Rat all into the pits there as well with Nieto. Rat and looks like Polycott is stayed out. So Andy Polycott flies by. Of course, he's one more pit stop to do. Tom Solis leading the race at the minute. Does have one more pit stop to do, as does Ben Shawley. But that's the gap Ben now has lost from letting Tom Boy. So now it's going to be who does the faster pit stop next time round. I have a feeling it's going to be Ben over Tom, but who knows? I'm only assuming, as I say. And if you enjoy these streams, please give me a follow or a subscription, whatever way it works, whether you're watching on YouTube, I think subscribe, and on Twitch it's follow. Please give us a follow or subscribe on YouTube. And just thanks for watching the content, and share the content as well if you're happy to do so. I would appreciate it. Back on with Morris Bhutan as he's side by side with Terry Dunn. Let's go on a heliboard. Woo! Lovely stuff there. Terry moves out of the way nicely, or that was actually Barry that moved out of the way nicely. Chico Leanfar as well is up a position there. Andy Polycott must have had a bit of a moment because Chico got by quite quickly and quite recently, because it was still shown on my software. So Chico now up into P10 and he has done his pit stops. So Chico doing a good one. Texiera now with Polycott. Texieri on the inside gets the job done, and Polycott has his teammate Nathan Warren behind. They're of course friends as well and race together quite a bit. Polycott lets Nathan Warren by. Polycott's probably going to let Britt Batiste by because of the split rule, and that shouldn't be too much of a worry then for him. Although we do have a back marker in the way. Oh, lovely stuff there by Britt. Great positioning. I know it's only in a back marker, but that was beautifully done, because he knew if he didn't do that, he'd be waiting another lap or two as well. So that was nicely done from him. Thanks very much. I didn't mean to subscribe in terms of subscribing on Twitch, but thank you. Because on YouTube I think it's called subscribe, and on Twitch I'm pretty sure it's just follow. No, I do appreciate that. I wouldn't ask people to actually subscribe. If they wanted to do so, they're more than happy to do so, but thank you so much for that one. Very generous. Barry Dunn is now 0.3 of a second off Raimundo after losing that position, and is going to have to try their best to get back into it. That's actually 4th position. Spitzin is 0.2 of a second off Cisco there, and has only not too far behind Zanibioni, of course, last week's Pro-Am winner in P22. Puglioni is in P25 and not too far off Anonymous Rat there. They are in different splits and entitled to race if you're that much faster. Andy Polycott out of the pits for the last time now, down in P28, and doing a great job there. Aaron Holloway 0.1 of a second off Finley Gamble. There's a back marker in the way, and looks like Aaron's going to go for the inside line. Finley's just going to have to let him by, and does, and fair play. Finley lost. See, when you do it like that, the way Finley done it there, different split, he didn't lose really any time, maybe half a second in one corner. So instead of doing that, instead of getting a penalty, it's well worth doing it. I need to alliterate that out millions of times. Matty Gamble's pulled a second in on Ryan O'Sullivan as well. So the fight for the race win is not over, with a bit of Tokyo drift from wee Matty Gamble. Well, all that's going on, Rat and Puglioni, part 2. Puglioni's after getting by. Rat's coming back at him though. These two having a great ding dong here this evening. Puglioni though doing the switchback. Rat has the inside line though, and we'll be able to control it. Puglioni though gets a tighter line. Rat gets a slightly better exit, has been opening up and getting on the throttle that bit earlier, and definitely has helped him there with that fight there. So Anthony Ferrante is not running P40 anymore. He's got by Leopard, and Ferrante's doing a good job there, and lovely to see that. Then we've got Melliot then in P38. I'm going to run through all the cars from last to first. Then we've got Giuseppe Sampiari then in P37. We've got Avon then in P36. We have Joshua Rodriguez in P35. Bruno Fantanozzi in P34. Then we've got Patrizio Gallimelo in P33. Richard Vickers is in P32 at the minute, but there is other cars in the pits. These guys will probably gain a position or two. Then Vincenzo Di Martino in P31. Then we have Daniel Volkov in P30. Then Cisco, one of the boys in the pits, in P29. Spitzin in P28 at the minute. That's probably going to change. Then we've got Nieto in P27. Polycott then in P26 after his pit stop. Terry Dunn's in P25. We've got Vulcan in P24. Puglioni in P30 or 23. Rat is in P22. Zanibioni is in P21, and then we have Mr. Retrieval and himself then in P20. So looking there now in the top 20, we have then Stanek in P19. Barry Dunn is in P18. Fabio Parioni is in P17. Just ahead of him, 6.6 of a second up the road, is Raimundo. We do have a stop-go penalty as well there. I think that was for Terry Dunn, was it? No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was undeserved. Maybe it was reserved, sorry. I'll go back to that. So then we've got Parioni, Raimundo, then Simons Kowalowski in P15. 1 second off Britt Batiste, who's 2 seconds off Maurice Bouton. And that's a good record. Stop-go 30 for Ben Shawley. Oh, he sped into the pits, obviously. That's going to be a killer for him. But he needs to get these points on the table. So Maurice Bouton is going to be surely left by Nathan Warren, and he's second. Nathan Warren, who is fighting with Texiera as well, so not ideal for Morris right now. Chico Lindfar is in P9. Ben Shawley is in P8, but we'll be doing a quick stop-go. He'll still get decent points. Then we've Zatsiev in P7. Finley Gamble's up in P6, of course, he had to stop, as is Zatsiev. Aaron Holloway's P5. Robert Poor's P4. Still yet to pit. Matty Gamble's P3. Ryan O'Sullivan's P2 and Tom Solis P1 with 1 pit stop to go there. So Maurice Bouton has been left free by Nathan Warren. Let's see how that came about. Nathan just gives him the inside line, doesn't fight it, runs a bit wide, make sure Morris is through. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Swap Rooney done. Morris can then focus ahead now. So great recovery for Morris as well after such heavy damage. He's down 10 positions. Chico Lindfar is slowly getting up to where Bruno was yesterday. He's up 33 positions at the minute. Wasn't expecting this to have another go at this here this evening. Who can get the most overtakes done in a season? That's absolutely crazy. Britt Batiste loses out to Kowalowski there. Kowalowski is, what, 0.2 of a second now ahead. Both in the same car. That's really down to aero. If Britt was to get by quite easy. Britt's 0.1 of a second off with a toe, but no cigar, as Texiera will have to move out of the way for Bouton. Of course, different splits. Where he decides to do that, he's got 5 corners to the side on it. One down the Hamilton straight here now. This would be the ideal time to do it. You could just let him take the inside line and get on with it. He's not though. Wow. Could have let off slightly and not lost too much room. It looks like he's letting it happen now. Not really, Jesus. Never knew for back markers to be fighting, although Texiera now is under pressure now from Maurice Bouton. And Morris goes away again. Then you have, it looks like Nathan has got by. Then Texiera might be under pressure now from Kowalowski. Oh, this is lovely stuff here. So Kowalowski on the inside. Britt Batiste gets it completely wrong though, and goes a bit off track, but comes back out without losing too much time. So this is why you should have done what Finley Gamble done. Finley let someone by in the corner nicely. Texiera's after losing 2 positions now over that. And that's the difference in a championship. That's about learning the race when that's with experience as well. So anyone who doesn't have experience should be watching these kind of moves as Tom Solis is in the pits. Because you learn from it. And even for myself, I look at other drivers and learn from them. Obviously, I'm probably more of a skilled comms than I am a driver, but when I do drive, at least I have that understanding. Unfortunately, I was in a race in Amigos on Monday and got massive frame drops throughout the full first lap in Bathurst, and on the second lap I decided instead of murdering someone, I had to just pull in. And that's Kowalowski by Nathan Warren now. Texiera down behind Nathan Warren. Britt Batiste 0.2 off him as well. So Texiera needs to start learning to let different splits by, because he's causing himself nothing but issues here. by not following the rules. Back to Cisco now, 0.9 was second, 1 second off. So even after his drive through, doing a good job there. Richard Vickers 6.1 seconds off Di Martino. So Richard could still get another place in it yet either. Puglioni up there as well. Texiera is now in the pits, and I feel needs to reconsider the fights he's having on track, because I think he should know himself they were a bit unnecessary and have cost him quite big, to be honest. I'm going to ask for one more vote on who you'd like to see in the car, and unfortunately Richard cannot be chosen because we've already used him. So please get your votes in for somebody who you'd love to see an onboard lap with. It doesn't have to be the fastest, it can be the slowest or whoever you want in between. So get the votes in. I'll give you a minute, as then I want to end the race on just looking at where all the action is. So just have a minute to get that done. So please vote and let me know who you'd like to see a full on board lap with, and we'll get it done. Both on YouTube and Twitch. I will keep an eye for your votes. On with Raimundo here now, 0.3 of a second off Batiste. Brit's doing a good job and will be under a little bit of pressure for Raimundo. They are different splits though, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. Stanek having a great race now, coming up against Terry Dunn, 0.3 of a second off Terry Dunn. So let's see. I'm surprised I haven't seen one in for the LFI guys as of yet. Stanek doing a great job. Rat is on the move now, looking to try and catch up with Slavixon, says Puglioni. Okay. Rat is looking at fucking slow here and looking to see what I can get done. There's no other names coming in. I'm just going to jump on with Puglioni. Vulcan losing out then to Rat as well, but I'm going to jump on with Puglioni as it was voted. And yeah, let's have one more quick on board before we get into the last 5 or 6 minutes of this race. And good stuff there as we enter the last 7 minutes of this race. Quite a few changes there by the looks of it on our screen. Leopard is actually on fight here. This is the fight for last position. Leopard and it looks like Anthony Ferrante fighting now, half a second between them. Who is going to take the honour of not finishing last out of the two of these? Ferrante will do everything in his power now, giving everything. BMW versus BMW. Let's see if Vladimir Leopard can do anything. We'll keep an eye on that battle because this is a really good one as well. I love seeing this. I'm all about seeing drivers progress. To see Anthony Ferrante constantly now racing within time, it's absolutely brilliant. This is exactly what it's all about. So Cisco is doing a good job there. Puglioni for Zambioni is 0.2 of a second also. Two different vehicles, but both in the same team. So this is more for the team rivalry than anything else now at this stage this evening. Let's see where they can go. Anonymous Wrath is trying to catch up to Mr. Shrivel. Perioni, Ramundo and Britt Batiste on in a bit of a battle though for different things as Morris Boutin gets by Finley Gamble there. Morris back up into P8. Chico Leanfar up into P6 now. And it looks like Pur is the last person. He'll need to get a pit stop done soon enough. Matty Gamble's only 1.3 seconds off Ryan O'Sullivan. Are we going to have a last lap battle? We'll be keeping an eye on that one as that gets closer. So Finley Gamble's dropped off a little bit there as well. I'm going to go back to the... Oh no, there we go. So Anthony Ferrante now is 2 seconds clear of Leopard. So Ferrante really pushing Leopard's tyres. Look like they're starting to go. He's sideways. And Cisco is doing a great job there with Galileo. Volkov and Stanek literally now 0.1 of a second between them. Good racing from both of these drivers, of course. Volkov doing a good job. Ooh, I was saying Volkov is doing a good job, but unfortunately has the contact with Stanek there. I'm not sure whose issue that was or why it happened, but sure to look at it after. Ben Shawley, after a stop-go 30, is out behind Zanibioni, and these guys will have to get out of his way within a few corners as well. Of course, if they don't, we can, of course, look into that one. Then Anonymous Rat is now a little bit closer to Trevel now, so interestingly, Trevel maybe might have to wake up a bit and say, right, I need to get by. Morris Boutin is now up into P8 and actually very close to P7. I think that's the best he's going to get this evening if he's able to do so. So Matty Gamble 1.1 second off now as well. Chico Leanfar though, for me, unbelievable. Up 36 positions and soon to be 37 positions, I would say. In term, well, it depends how long Pura stop for. It might be 37 positions. We'll see. But very interesting coming into this last bit. Morris Boutin, of course, doing all he can to recover after starting P2 or P1 actually. Losing out to Matty Gamble at the start, and that incident then, of course, our good friend Mr. Bruno Fantinosi. There'll be a lot of questions, I'm sure, after the race, and a few tickets, I'm sure, in, as these things happen in racing, and we will get the stewarding done normally on around Friday, Saturday, and results will be fully posted. They'll be provisionally posted on SimGrid this evening. As Matty Gamble now is half a second off Ryan O'Sullivan, coming down essentially 2 laps to go, and Matty Gamble, Ryan O'Sullivan will get surely one more, so 2 more laps now as of them crossing the line. Half a second covers them. Ryan O'Sullivan versus Matty Gamble. How is this going to end? Matty made this harder than it should have been. Matty, unfortunately, it seemed to have an unforced error, and not very usual at all. Like Matty Gamble, of course, he's coming back from about 3 and a bit months out of sim racing. He had spent the summer completely away from the rig by the sounds of it. So he is kind of getting back into it. So maybe still a little bit green compared to what we're used to, but not used to seeing him having any errors. So let's see what he can do. These lads got no real air during the race. When it matters, we're on with the close battles, as I say. Boutin and Zatsiev, 0.1, 0.2. He was just literally throwing the nose there. Fantinosi and Di Martino as well. That should be an easy one, as it's not for position. For position, Raimundo Chiara But I'm going to go back up here. Holloway and Pure. Holloway is going to get by. Robert Pure, yeah, gets by. So Aaron Holloway back into P3, but not by much. Pure's coming back on him. Pure's actually a pro driver as well. So Holloway not having it his own way. As I'm saying that, Gamble is not making the inroads he was wanting to do. So Holloway has stayed ahead of Pure now. Holloway now needs to assert himself and get the job done, as they're essentially going for one more lap. Matty Gamble literally has one more lap now to try and take back what should have been the race win. Ryan O'Sullivan has the sniff of a victory now, and he's only got one more lap, another 1 minute and 57 to 2 minutes maybe of a lap left to do. 0.3 of a second splits them. This is going to be a close end to this race here. And then for third and fourth is still not over as well. Pretty much the same gap as these two have here. So Gamble eyeing up a move 0.2 of a second. Now the Aston should surely be stronger through here, while Matty Gamble's carrying the speed. So definitely the Honda is not as strongest bit there, but then the Honda might get a bit of release here. No, wow. So it looks like Ryan O'Sullivan has so far the momentum with that Aston Martin with the V8 power of Mercedes. What is Zatsiev's position? Zatsiev. Let me have a look here now. Where is Zatsiev? Sorry about this, there's so many names here. Zatsiev is running P8 at the minute. You can see there on the screen. Or Zatsiev number 17. So Matty Gamble's half a second off. I don't know if he's going to get it done. Aaron Holloway's holding on for dear life, 0.3 of a second ahead. Then Kowalowski half a second off Finley Gamble. But back onto this one here. Ryan O'Sullivan doesn't have long left to go. Although Pure's right beside Holloway here. Holloway's on the inside defending. Is a podium going to drop away from Holloway, or is he going to keep on to it? Pure's going to have a slightly better run out of the corner, but not enough. Oh, this is super close here. This is as close as you're going to see it now. O'Sullivan is the inside. Gamble has the outside line coming into the last section of corners here now. O'Sullivan looks like he's going to hold on to it here. Matty Gamble's right on it. Oh, O'Sullivan gets very, very slow. Matty gets cut out by that. It looks like O'Sullivan's going to hold on to the lead coming towards the line with Matty Gamble finishing in P2 there. And while that's happening, Aaron Holloway looks like he's after losing P3, but he's got it back as Pure runs wide. This is unbelievable stuff. Not long to go here as well. This is for a podium position also. So Sullivan takes the win. Matty Gamble second. Aaron Holloway trying to hold on to P3. Looks like Holloway's going to do it now. He's about half a second clear. Mr. Pure just ran too wide around the outside there. Dismissed that. I didn't see that in time. And so Sullivan from Gamble, Holloway then from Pure. Looks like going across the line. Well earned for Holloway there. Well earned for Pure. Tom Solis then next. My driver of the day though is Chico Leanfar. Up 36 positions. Last the first didn't work for him, but great stuff there as he comes up with all the back marker traffic. And Maurice Boutin next. Unbelievable recovery from him after having the incidents with Bruno earlier on in the race. Then Zatsiev crossed over the line then in P8. Then Simon Kowalowski in P9. Finley Gamble P10. Nathan Warren P11. Barry Dunn P12. Perioni will be 13th. Chiara 14th. Ramundo 15th. Possibly could change either still. Ben Chawley looking to try and gain a position coming near the end as well on Puglioni. It's not over yet for a lot of these guys that are still out there. Volkov stopped with a 30-second penalty. They may not have served a drive-through or something like that. And Chawley across the line, Zandamoni. Andy Polycott then with Nato all the way to the line, and that is it. A few of the drivers would have left the race by now. But that was unbelievable stuff. My voice is starting to hurt a little bit. That was a brilliant race from everyone. Ryan O'Sullivan literally took advantage. Matty Gamble made a small mistake, and it was 0.337, the final gap to them. And great racing for both. And as I said about him last season, Ryan O'Sullivan has the consistency there. And that's what won him the championship last season. And he's having a great season fight so far this round 2 out of round 8. Chico Lindfar as well had a phenomenal race as well. I'm sure that was quite fun for him, and then Kowalowski then in P9 as well. So look guys, thank you so much for watching as always. We will be live again this time next week for round 3 of Supercharged Motorsports Wednesday night series. And to be fair about it, I'm really looking forward to it. It's as I say, a fully registered out series that we have at the minute, thankfully. And we're getting great numbers showing up. And the next race is Laguna Seca, 60 minutes. So we do change all the time. So Laguna Seca is up next. And we will see you there for that one. Have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching. And again, please don't forget to like or subscribe, follow us. And we'll see you for the next one. So thank you very much again. Have a good night. Take care.